Chris Dale, tell us what's coming up in this week's episode.
It's the year's first random episode of a random Gerry Anderson series, Randomly.
Jeremy?
Oh, news about things including Standby for Action 2.
And the first part of my interview with the wonderful Christien Anholt.
Ooh.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James and Chris Dale.
Hello.
Isn't it quiet?
Hello.
It's quiet,
Yeah,
isn't it? I'm just saying.
I noticed a void here.
Yeah. It's a bit like
Someone
when
has left us.
it's a bit like when the family will leave. The kids are gone.
I think he's just moved house. The way he said that was a bit dramatic.
Oh, Terry.
Somebody's left us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Terry's moved house. Terry Adam will be back next Christmas, I'm sure.
But just a minute.
It's very peaceful.
It's the Gerry Anderson Podcast. It's our opportunity to celebrate the legacy of one of the foremost producers of British TV.
What
I
a
would
nice
say.
intro. What a lovely
It's
intro.
true, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is the first episode that we're recording in 2025.
I know, which is also exciting.
Yes.
So we hope you had a good new year. I wonder, email us at podcast@gerryanderson.com and tell us what your hopes for your Gerry Anderson new year are. What would you like to see in 2025?
Well, and it's a very good year for asking that question because Thunderbirds' 60th anniversary, Space 1999's 50th anniversary,
Yeah.
New Captain Scarlet's 20th anniversary, and my 40th anniversary.
And my 40th anniversary.
Oh, yes, our 40th anniversary of being human beings.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. What
I'm July, you're April, aren't you?
March.
March, even.
We can have a joint 80th.
we should.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And you're all welcome.
Oh, hang on.
Well, no, not you.
Okay.
No, but everyone else is.
Good.
Yeah. So before we head on into our news section, we do have some YouTube comments because, as you
lovely.
know, we premiere every Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. On
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
And people do like to comment beneath the videos. So here's one from Betty Least, I think, from 343, which was the first of our Christmas specials. Years ago, it was lovely to see the Captain Scarlet series with my family at Christmas. I believe this was in 2009. After breakfast and more coffee, I saw this whole series until the end, and yes, I still like the UFO show as well, as if we asked. In the real world, there are books on UFOs and aliens at the public library. People will get me for that. They'll think I'm nuts.
Books? In a library?
Nonsense.
What?
Which is the world coming to. Do you want to read the next one there, Chris?
I'll read the next one. Yes, this is from Scofair 551. The Protectors was a lush show.
Lush.
Totally agree.
True.
I believe it was sponsored by Fabergé. Indeed it was. That's the reason there's no third series, because they pulled out of sponsoring it.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I don't think I knew that either, to be honest.
Extraordinary.
The cars, locations, and John Cameron's fabulous score. Avenues and Alleyways is so definitive of that period.
It's true.
Indeed it is.
And I
yes,
bet you're
it's good
singing
stuff.
it right now, aren't you? You just got to hear it. The name, the title of that song. And we all know it.
Anyways, I'm off.
Yeah. And the third one for you there, Jamie.
Rob Slater says, why not do Standby for Action 3 around Thunderbirds for the 60th?
Oh, yeah.
You could get Cliff Richard as a special guest.
Yes.
I
Why
mean,
didn't you do that?
Well, because, no.
No?
No, but the planning the concert is like an 18-month thing, and we're already in 2025, so
Yeah.
sadly it's too late, and we need a break from it, and it's a lot to do, and yeah. But it's a lovely idea. I mean, Cliff, if you're watching,
Yeah, come join us. Or
he'd be a great
Marvin.
guest.
Wouldn't he?
Right, get booking. Cliff
Fine.
Richard.
Yeah.
In the meantime, shall we crash zoom into some news?
Crash Zoom.
Yes! Ah!
Jamie Anderson, newsy news.
News.
Oh, the first newsy news of 2025 555.
You don't normally address me thusly, so I got confused.
I know, sorry.
Yes, the news this week.
Yes.
Starts with Standby for Action 2, funnily enough, as I've just rejected the idea for Standby for Action 3.
Yes.
The DVD and Blu-ray of Standby for Action 2 are now available. Many of you will already have them in your hands.
Yes, great.
Get them from the Gerry Anderson store or from Amazon if you prefer that place, but,
Yeah.
surely support a small
It's
business
helpful
directly.
for you to support us.
We like it, but it's up to you. But
And
it's
I'm
available.
assuming that also includes the Deadly Concerto, the first part of the Deadly Uprising saga,
Yes,
and
that's
the
part
whole
of it, yes.
Stingray
Does,
thing
look
from
at
last
you.
year. Wow.
Plugging away right
With
there.
a standout performance from a certain Mr. Ben Page.
Oh yes.
Yes.
And nobody cared about the voice artists
No, Ben
or
was the
Wendy
highlight of the
doing
entire
yeah
event.
yeah Wendy's
Quite
Marina.
right,
Who
too.
cares? Ben's got stingrays thrown around the stage. Anyway, now the bad news. It's not bad. It's just the you must wait.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate news
Be
is that the
patient.
soundtrack CD is delayed by approximately 5 weeks. So it's not that long.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit annoying. Now,
Yeah.
if you have pre-ordered the DVD or the Blu-ray with the soundtrack and you are very frustrated and annoyed by this news, understandably, and you cannot wait to get your DVD or Blu-ray, then Chris, we're going to be nice, email support@gerryanderson.com and Louise and Michael will split your order for you and make sure that you can get the DVD or Blu-ray sooner.
Very good.
There you
That's
go.
nice.
So we try to be nice and helpful
Yeah.
sometimes. Your other news this week...
Yes.
It always seems to circulate around Richard James somehow.
It's just the way I like it.
I don't know if
What
you
am I doing
remember.
now?
What are you doing now? First Action Bureau.
Oh, yes.
Damaged Goods. The prequel novel to the First Action Bureau audio series. This prequel novel was written by one Richard James.
Hello.
Sitting to my left. The audiobook is available now from the Gerry Anderson store, narrated by the lovely Genevieve Gaunt, who plays Nero Jones in First Action Bureau.
Yeah.
It's been a little while coming while we were sorting out some edit issues. Now fixed. Sounds amazing. And
Great.
yeah. So what? Plug the book.
One
Well,
more,
you just did,
one more
didn't
string
you?
to your bow.
One more string to my bow.
It's so many. What is the most string? It's like a harp, isn't it? It's not even a.
That's the nicest thing I've ever been called. It's
Well,
like
a harp.
Like a harp.
So many strings.
I like
Harpy.
that. Yeah. First Action Bureau.
That changes the tone of things.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
not.
First Action Bureau. Damaged Goods. What is it?
Yes, but I was about to say it's probably worth, if you really want to, revisiting the audio series as well that was recorded during lockdown.
Yes.
A stellar cast.
Yes.
That will give you something of the flavour and hopefully whet your appetite for the prequel.
Do you recommend visiting the main series first and then the prequel, or prequel then series, or does that either change your?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, I thought it was
actually.
gonna be fun
doesn't-
then.
No, it doesn't really matter because I wouldn't want to put anyone off. Thinking.
Do it how you like.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go. And next week, I can't say what it is because it would be gazumping the announcement next week.
Right.
But I highly recommend that you make yourself available to visit the Gerry Anderson store on the 14th of January.
Okay.
It's a very important date for things that you might want and like. And
Is
stuff.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Great.
That's an exclusive little useless tease
Tickets
right
on
there.
sale for Space Precinct on Ice.
No, absolutely not that.
Yeah, Officer Orange Underpants for sale.
Limited edition of none. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of this week's Gerry Anderson news.
That was the news, that was the news, that was the newsy news, that was the news, that was the news, that was the newsy news, that was the news, that
Still
was the
going.
news, that was the news.
I don't know what that is. Do you? Is it Gerry Anderson related?
I know. What was that, Chris?
That was from a television series called Thunderbirds.
Ah,
There's a character called Jeremiah, the hillbilly.
okay.
Agent, yes, who lives in the
That's his
shack in the woods.
theme, is
We're
it?
getting quite niche now, aren't we?
Gosh, no, I'm sorry I
Well,
didn't identify
yeah.
that. I should have been able to. But
It's
Yeah.
appalling.
You're watching the Gerry Anderson podcast or listening however you choose to
Yes.
consume.
you're consuming the Gerry Anderson
consuming
podcast.
the
Coming
media.
up a little later on, you have a chance to watch an entire episode of a Gerry Anderson series with us around this
Or
table.
possibly just half of one if it's a very long episode.
That's true.
yeah.
Yes.
I know.
In what an item we like to call the randomiser because it's random.
Yes.
It's random. We don't know what we're going to watch.
Very random.
We've also got the Voice of the Podsterons. That's your opportunity to get in touch. podcast@gerryanderson.com. Tell us what you're watching or whether you enjoy it and what you think of the podcast. Now, don't tell us what you think of the podcast. Don't.
Oh.
Unless it's really nice.
Yeah. But in the meantime, would you like to hear from our special guest this week? Really acting royalty, part of the Gerry Anderson legacy by dint of his ancestry.
Oh, well, me too.
Yeah, it's Christien Anholt, son of Tony Anholt from Protectors and Space 1999, but also a very accomplished actor in his own right.
Amazing.
Indeed. Let's hear from Christien Anholt. How lovely to see you.
Well, thank you. It's lovely to be seen. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm particularly pleased that you're here because I was at the Space 1999 convention very briefly.
Right.
Filming some stuff for the podcast in
Yes.
Heathrow recently.
Yes.
Saw you there, didn't get a
Yes.
chance to speak.
No.
So this is rather nice. We're here primarily to talk about you and your father.
Yes.
Tony, of course,
Yes.
who we will know from Space 1999 and from The Protectors,
Yes.
which you've only just learned was a Gerry Anderson
I
production.
didn't know that until this day.
So
Absolutely.
it's sort of in your blood then, isn't it, really?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I grew up around it. I was on sets, TV sets, film sets from an age before I can remember.
Yeah. Does that mean you feel at home there?
Very interesting question because I think I apparently, I don't remember this exactly, but at the age of 7, I turned around to my parents and said, I'm going to do this.
At the age of 7.
And I never changed my mind. And
Yeah.
I still haven't.
Yeah.
And I would say that I find myself feeling most at home on a film set or a television set or on a stage.
Oh, why? So let's drill down into that. Why do you feel most at home in those places?
I guess inherently uncomfortable as myself. So when someone tells me what to say, where to go, and what to do,
right.
I feel much more at ease.
And perhaps it's the predictability of a script as well.
Perhaps,
isn't it?
but also I think I believe this very much that it's a calling, a vocation. It's not like whether it was bred into me, passed down from my dad. Mm-hmm. To know what you want to do at 7 years old and for it never to falter. I'm about to turn 54 and I'm still as passionate about it as I always was. Yeah. I think there has to be some kind of calling.
Yeah, extraordinary.
So when I get to do it is when I feel most comfortable. And
so you're almost, I mean, we're getting quite deep quite early here. You're almost, Christian, saying there that you're born with it rather than learn it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I never studied acting. I never went to drama school, though I got in on many occasions. I then got a job and thought, I'm going to learn more by doing the job than the training. But I always went back and then got another job. And so I never ended up actually training as an actor. I guess one has an inherent ability for it that can be honed through training. Yeah. I don't know if you can teach talent. I think you can teach technique. Yeah. I'm beginning to feel like I'm sounding like, well, because I'm just so talented. I didn't need any training.
You too could be like me.
Yes, you too. No, I think I definitely think there has to be something in there.
I mean, I think, you say you never trained, but of course you did train on the job.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I picked it up as I did it.
Exactly. Now, we're going to play a very quick game with you, Christian, to see what your Gerry Anderson credentials are.
Oh, okay. Forgive me.
No, that's all right. Now, we're going to play you some very, very quick clips of the opening titles of every one of Gerry Anderson's 18 TV series.
Well, hopefully I'll get 2.
Well, let's see if you'll get 2, because you were there very quick. So have a look at this and let's see how we do. Okay, so very early days to begin with. 57, I think. So, yeah, before our time. Yeah. This is number 2. Number 3. Nothing ringing any bells yet. No, that's understandable.
So sorry.
It will in a moment.
Okay.
When it turns colour, I reckon you'll get a call.
Probably.
We're still in black and white here.
By for action.
That's ringing a bell.
Yeah.
Is that Thunderbirds?
No, but
That's
is
Thunderbirds.
Exactly. There's your first one.
Okay.
You might know this one. Oh, gone.
Something in the Mistrons.
Captain Scarlet.
Captain Scarlet.
I'm going to give you that.
Thank you.
Now, we're into live action territory. So this next couple
That's
might ring a bell.
Protectors.
That's it. Exactly. And
Space
there you
1999.
go. Now we're cooking on gas. And that might be all you know.
I think it probably is. Forgive me.
That's all right. Now into the 80s.
No.
And almost there into the 2000s with Lavender Castle. And new Captain Scarlet, a CGI version.
Oh, really? Failed miserably.
No. There's no such thing as failure. Try or do not try. There is no failure.
There's knowledge or none.
Listen, you did all right.
Yeah.
Well,
at least I got the 2 my dad was in.
Exactly. You got 4.
I got 4.
I'm giving you 4 for that.
Well, thank you.
4's all right.
Yeah. So I got Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet,
That's it.
Space, and Protectors. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
There's your score.
Thank you.
So, what sort of stuff were you watching as a kid then? Before, I mean, can you remember a time before you were cognizant of your dad's job, or has that always been there?
I was thinking about this on the way down, actually. I'm trying to remember what else I watched.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I remember anything. I don't think I'm conscious of television before my dad was on the television.
Wow.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
So The Protectors came out when I was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I was still trying to work out how my dad was in the lounge and in the television at the same time.
Yeah,
So I was doing
amazing.
the thing of looking behind the television.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, even though I was sitting on his lap.
Yeah. Wow.
But I do remember The Protectors, and then I guess all the stuff around that era would have been Play School, Wacky Racers, the cartoons, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then Space 1999, I remember watching as a family on it. Became like part of my Saturday morning routine.
Yes, right.
No school, so it was TV from very early in the morning onwards. And I can't remember what time it was shown, but it was definitely in the morning.
Right.
But yeah, as my memory serves, my dad was on the telly from the beginning of my memory.
And indeed he was, exactly right. That's right. Yeah. And you say at 7 or so, a light bulb went on and you decided this is what you were going to do. How was that? How did they take that news at school and at home? What were the reactions of your teachers and your family?
Well, I guess, I was encouraged to get involved with the sort of if there were any theatrics going on at school, any like school plays or pantomimes or whatever they may have been at that age.
Yeah.
By this time, I'd been on and off film sets with my dad for a number of years.
Yeah.
I was enrolled in, I don't know if it was at my request, again, faded memory, but I was enrolled in a drama class with Sylvia Young's drama school on a Saturday, which I absolutely loved. And I guess it just evolved from there. And I don't remember the day, but my parents, both independently and together, said there was a day when you walked into the lounge and said, I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
Try and stop me.
And were they supportive?
I think they took it with a pinch of salt. I was 7.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
But my dad particularly didn't push me into it, nor did he sort of try and steer me away from it. He tried to kind of make it clear that I might consider an education, something to fall back on.
And how did that go?
Not terribly well.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah.
Although my dad was on the telly a lot, he had a long bouts of being out of work and struggled.
Yeah.
Financially, these shows didn't pay particularly well. It was only until he got onto Howard's Way that the money sort of started to increase.
Because I guess they would be given their one-off fee because there was no thought of VHSs, DVDs,
yeah,
Blu-rays.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course there wasn't.
So I was aware of how tough it seemed to earn a living at it. But as soon as I could, I didn't do well at school. I didn't like school at all. I got bullied a lot because my dad was on the television. Everyone thought we were wealthy because why wouldn't we be? Dad's on the TV.
Absolutely, yeah.
But as soon as I got sort of let go from school, I was like at my dad. I was like, right, how do I do this?
Yeah.
I want to do this. How do I do this? He said, call my agent.
Okay.
And
So he was able to open, if not open doors, then nudge them slightly for you to.
So he took me in to see his agent, a guy called Roger Carey, who I still know to this day.
Yes.
And he said, well, you have no experience, you've got no training, you should go to drama school.
Yeah.
Let's get some headshots in the meantime.
Right.
See what happens. And whilst applying for drama schools, he would just put me up for work, and I started to get work. And
from quite a young age, it seems. Is that right?
Yeah. So I actually should backtrack a little bit. While I was at the drama school, Sylvia Young's drama school, when I was 7, they acted as an agent, and I would get put up for commercials and children's programs, things like that. I did something called Seeing and Doing. That was a program I used to watch as a kid.
Right, okay. Seeing and Doing.
So there was one particular episode of Seeing and Doing which was all about Hadrian and Hadrian's War.
Oh, yeah.
And I played his son. And I think I got my equity card because of that show.
Right.
So I was an equity card member from the age of 7.
Right.
Dipping in and out with commercials here and there.
Yeah.
A couple of children's programs. And then really, as I left school at the age of 16, full on kind of let's aim everything we have at this.
Amazing.
And it just kind of worked out in my benefit very, I don't know, brag about it, but quite easily.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Wasn't always easy, but it kind of worked out.
Did it come easily to you, do you think? Being on set and filming and shooting stuff?
It felt
and
very natural.
Yeah.
It felt very natural. I didn't get... So I did some theatre some fringe theatre before I did. So my first big break was a film called Reunion.
Yes, right.
Before I did that, I did some fringe theatre, and I was working with some very seasoned actors, and they all got very nervous before the show. You know, and one guy was throwing up in the bathroom, and when I walked out on stage, I couldn't stop smiling. Because I was just like, I'm here, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
The director came to see, it was Shakespeare, the director came to see me after the first show and said, you've got to stop smiling. You've got to stop smiling. You're not, you're not supposed to be enjoying yourself. So it did, it felt very much like this is just where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, right.
So very naturally, very easily.
Yeah. Amazing. We'll be taking a look at some of your performances, as well as those of your dad, of course.
Thank you.
So you mentioned Reunion. Jason Robards, I think?
Yes.
Tell us about that experience, of where you shot that. And
So Reunion is a screenplay that's adapted from a book by a painter called Fred Ullman. I was always led to believe it was slightly autobiographical, but I've since found out it wasn't at all. Yeah. It's the story of a young man called Hans, growing up in Germany as the Nazis are kind of coming to power. He's the son of a Jewish doctor, and he's a bit of a misfit, doesn't get on with others, and he befriends this other boy at school called Konradin, and Konradin is the son of an aristocrat, and they form this amazing friendship. And they go off on adventures together. And then as the Nazis increase their influence, and then there is the divide, their friendship starts to dissolve. Because Hans is Jewish. He gets sent by his parents to live in America with his uncle, and doesn't return to Germany for, I think, 50 years.
Right.
And when he does return to Germany, one of the things he picks up is the search for his friend. And he finds out through investigation that his friend Konradin was implicated in the plot against Hitler and actually executed. And that's the sort of reunion.
Wow, gosh.
This wonderful friendship that unfortunately fractured because of beliefs. Actually, his friend, the pure friend that he had, came back round.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, so quite the experience shooting that.
It was amazing. We went to Germany, we shot it in Stuttgart and Berlin. It was the first feature film I'd ever made.
Yeah.
The director, Jerry Schatzberg, who discovered Al Pacino.
Okay.
Kind of nice.
Yes, wow, that's pretty good.
He was an absolute delight to work with. Harold Pinter wrote the screenplay.
Right.
He was delightful to work with.
Yeah.
I then went on to work with him later in one of his plays. But yeah, it was again, and I walked on set and I was like, I feel completely at peace here.
Yeah. More so than on a stage, or
different?
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
Just comfortable.
Yeah.
Just very comfortable.
Yeah. Great, extraordinary. Now, just before we read some questions from our viewers and listeners, let's take a little look at Christien Anholt in action.
Great.
Let's have a look at a little clip from Cadfile, I think, with Derek Jacobi. Let's have a look at this.
Let's get to bed. We should be back in here soon enough. Yes, brother. And I have learned of Colonel Eloward's purpose here. If you have need of help, at any time...
I thank you, brother, but I need the help of no man.
Just a very quick clip. Taken from your show, one of your earlier show reels, I think.
Yes, I remember.
So that's pretty early days for a young Christian.
So I think I was 21, 22.
Yeah. Do you feel part of that? I mean, Derek Jacobi is obviously a very revered actor. Do you feel part of that kind of lineage and part of that work? No, really? Okay.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel very blessed to have worked with some of the best actors around. Derek Jacobi, Albert Finney, Harold Pinter. But I don't feel included.
Really? Ever thought?
I've always had this sort of. I don't know. It feels odd to say this, having said what I've already said, but there's a little bit of imposter syndrome that kicks in.
Yeah.
Also, I don't get to work as much as I want to, and I guess that kind of lends a feeling of being kept on the outside.
But that's the curse of every actor, isn't it?
Haven't quite earned the membership. Just stay in the club.
Well,
just get to visit every now and then.
I think being still in the game is enough to earn the membership.
Yeah.
That's the point, isn't it? Particularly in this day and age, where things are so difficult.
Yeah.
What was home life like then in the 70s, 80s as you grew up, in terms of your dad working?
Yeah.
And what was home life like? Was it a stable, or I mean, I don't want to pry too much. Was your dad often away working?
Dad was often away.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember going to visit him in various places, like Italy and all sorts of places.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I knew, it was a stable place.
Yeah.
My parents divorced when I was 14, and things came to light that I didn't know about. So the sort of facade for me was stable.
Right.
But for the two of them, it wasn't.
Yeah, I see.
But yeah, Dad was often away. I mean, I remember... I got to see some amazing things as a kid, having my dad as an actor. He was... I think they shot Space in Pinewood.
That's right.
So I got to visit him.
Not so far from here.
I got to visit him in Pinewood, and at that time there was the Moonraker set. I got to go on the Moonraker set. There was a Supergirl set. I got to go on that. My dad was friends with Robert Vaughn from The Protectors.
Oh, yeah.
He invited us down to Pinewood to visit him on Superman 3. Met Christopher Reeve. He gave me a rock off the set. I don't have it anymore. But as a kid, it's just like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Superman just came out of his trailer and said hello to me.
Incredible.
Literally.
God.
It just,
it's
fantastic. It's priceless.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. That's right. And, I mean, do you have stuff on the shelf at home? Do you have the Blu-rays and the DVD? Do you have Space 1999?
I do,
Protectors?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do they come off the shelf occasionally? Or
they don't come off the shelf that often because I don't have the CD, I'm calling it a CD player.
Show your age.
The DVD player connected.
But
yes, all the kind of the precious ones are there on DVD along with Relic Hunter.
Yes, of course. 3 years? 3
years of Relic Hunter.
Yeah.
But memorabilia, no. Unfortunately, because I was so young. I mean, we'll get to these in a minute. But things like the Rock from Superman 3.
Oh, imagine.
For an 8-year-old, this is great fun. I'm going to play with it and destroy it and throw it around. And now I'm like, oh my God, I wish I kept it.
Should have kept it pristine.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
So you brought a couple of things along on the table there that I can see. I've got the sort of the replica versions here. But,
I have those.
Yeah.
Because they're lovely to have and they're much more pristine. But I do have these. And these were given to me by my dad. And as far as I'm aware, these are the stunt replicas of the phaser and the comlink.
Yeah.
Again, and this is what I was talking about, he handed these to a 6-year-old who when decided to paint them and
that's amazing.
Alter them, which I wish I hadn't done, but at least I still have them.
Yeah, but actually, I mean, I don't know in terms of value, but in terms of emotional value, there's more of a story there to know that they've been, handed to you from your dad and you've used them and played with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my favourite, I mean, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but the episode that I remember, because I was there, I think, for some of it, was the Beta Cloud.
Oh, yeah.
With Dave Prowse, who went on to be Darth Vader, which is like a big deal.
Yeah.
These are the props that Dad wore when he fought with Dave Prowse.
Okay. Incredible. Yeah, nice. There you go.
Yeah.
So TV history.
It is, a little bit.
And, it's the Gerry Anderson podcast, so let's talk a little bit about how aware were you of that name growing up and that brand? I mean, were you aware that your dad's work was sort of intimately involved with Gerry or not so much?
I mean, I'm aware of, I think I was aware of Gerry Anderson then.
Yeah. Thunderbirds you recognised
Thunderbirds,
earlier.
yes, absolutely. We all knew Thunderbirds. Yeah. I remember meeting him at one point. I think my dad, one of the visits to Pinewood was to Gerry's office. And I think that's when they gave me one of the Eagle toys.
Ah, yes. Nice.
Again, sadly, lost in a move.
Really?
But, yes, I don't think I was aware of the status that Gerry holds in the industry and the pioneering aspect of his work.
That's right. And actually, your dad was sort of working with him at the very apex of that career, really, throughout the 70s. I mean, okay, the 60s were the Super Marination years, the puppets, Thunderbirds and Stingray and so on. But the live action stuff that many consider to be, the pinnacle of his career. Your dad was right there. That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So on that note, let's have a little look at Tony in action.
Okay.
Let's have a look at something from The Protectors.
Okay. It's so James Bond.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's great.
And just there's something about the quality of the film, the colours, and obviously the fashions and the leather jackets and the cars and everything. It's so amazing. And something of an action man, obviously. It looks like he was doing that stunt.
I think so. I know he did a lot of his own stunts on space. I have a story about one, which I'll tell you in a bit. But,
Great.
It's. I mean, it was like having James Bond for dad for a bit.
Yes, I should say. That's right. And as we said earlier, you didn't know there was a Gerry Anderson involvement with the Protectors. So here we have, as you can imagine, when I put on our Facebook group that we were having you here as a guest, I received lots of questions for our Space 1999 lunchbox.
Okay,
so you want to reach in there, Christian, and just take out, 4 or 5?
4 or 5.
And then we'll do some more next week as well.
There's 1, 2, I think.
Is that right?
Is that 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got more.
That's 5. That'll do it, and then we'll do the rest next week.
Okay.
So,
this is from Simon Frisbee. Hi, Christian. Thanks for doing the podcast. For me, The Curse of Fenric was the last great Doctor Who story. How was filming it? And could you tell from the other cast and crew that Doctor Who was about to be cancelled?
Wow. That's
Good
true.
questions. Okay. We're going quite a way back.
We are. What are we talking, 88, 89?
Yeah, I was 17. Yeah, that's pretty bang on.
Really, yeah.
So, a slightly funny story. I think I was cast by mistake.
That's every actor's nightmare, isn't it? Turning up on the first day.
I heard a story after I finished that they got mine and another actor's name swapped. So they thought they were casting him. And they got me. Nonetheless.
Okay.
I had no idea, Simon, that Doctor Who was about to be cancelled.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was a great story. I love those kind of, and it's 2 parts, isn't it? Or is it 3 parts?
I think it was 3.
Yeah,
Curse of Fenric.
Good old
4, in fact. Chris over there
4.
is trying.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So how was filming it? Filming it was great. I was 17. I was out of school. I was doing what I loved to do. It was fantastic. Well, I can't remember where we were.
Yeah. In studio or on location?
No, we were on
remember?
location.
Yeah.
On location. And there were some great costumes, and there were these things that came out of the sea. And
did Doctor Who mean anything to you as a 17-year-old? Were you a fan?
Yeah, I was a huge fan.
Really?
Tom Baker was my Doctor Who.
Yes.
I still remember hiding behind the sofa when the Daleks came on.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
So yes, I do remember Doctor Who. I think I'd slightly grown out of it by that point, but I enjoyed working with Sylvester. He was very, very nice. It was great fun.
Yeah, Nicholas Parsons as well.
Nicholas Parsons was in it. Marcus Hutton, who he and I sort of struck up a friendship on set. I can't think of who else was in it. But yeah, no, it was fantastic fun. Was the last great Doctor Who story? Thank you. That's because I was in it.
Well, clearly.
Exactly.
And well, on that note, let's have a very quick look at you in action.
Oh, okay.
Let's take a look at Curse of Fenric.
You're going to show the bit when I break
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Everyone does.
Yes.
Radio for reinforcements. Yeah, you just ordered that all radio transmitters be disabled. I've just set Perkins onto it.
That's me.
What?
Perkins. That's it. What? Not Perkins? I mean, brilliant.
Sir, radio transmitters disabled as ordered, sir.
Splendid work, Perkins. Splendid work. Put them back together again.
Nice. Oh, I just thought we were coming back to you for a little reaction shot there, but obviously not.
I mean, he's a kid in a candy store there. So it's like I get to be on set and I get to smash things.
I know,
with an
yeah.
axe.
Amazing.
And they spark.
I'm guessing that was one take.
I think it probably was.
A long time ago, I know. Yeah, great, fantastic. Another question.
Another question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm not sure I can pronounce your name. Anthony.
Zahetner, that'll
Zahetner,
be. We know Anthony.
Forgive me. Which was more fun, Relic Hunter or Adventure Inc.?
Okay, tell us about both of those projects.
So, Relic Hunter was a series that I was cast in alongside Tia Carrere. We started in 1998, and it was kind of like Indiana Jones meets Scooby-Doo.
Oh, nice.
Tia's playing the Indiana Jones role. I'm playing the English bumbling, kind of,
really?
the sidekick. It was a dream come true. Absolutely loved it. We filmed in Toronto. We shot in France. We shot in Spain. We shot in England. We did 22 episodes a year for 3 years.
Nice.
It was amazing.
It's one of those moments where you think it's working.
Everything's
falling into place.
It was a dream job.
Yeah.
Adventure Inc. So what happened, I believe, at Paramount was the studio executives changed hands and they didn't want to continue with someone else's work, so they let Relic Hunter go, and then they came up with this new show called Adventure Inc., which starred Michael Biehn, Karen Cleach, I can't remember the young man's name, and it was a kind of, they had a ship, they were, again, sort of adventurers and treasure hunters.
Yeah.
And I turned up in that for a couple of episodes as a priest who'd taken a vow of silence, so I had very little to say. But that was a lot of fun too. But of course, which was more fun was Relic Hunter, because that was, I want to say my show, but it was the show that I was, second.
And did you have much sort of input into the scripts and so on? I know. Okay.
No.
Not even as the show progressed to second and third year.
No, I mean they did begin to ask, what kind of adventures would you like?
Yeah.
What they did do very gracefully was they allowed me the room to improvise. Tia was so generous in that way that I would go off on a little thing here and there, and they'd just keep it.
Yeah, great.
So
nice.
It was very nice. The question goes on. So
go on then. What else have you got?
Okay. Prior to starring in The Curse of Fenric, how familiar were you with Doctor Who?
Okay.
Well, I think I've answered that.
Yeah.
And the fact that I used to love it, and Tom Baker was my favourite.
Have you ever done any Big Finish audio Doctor Who work? Do you know about Big Finish?
No.
Oh, well, I'll tell you later.
Okay. Any dream... There's a lot of questions here, Anthony.
Keep them coming.
Any dream roles, plays or productions on your bucket list? Did you work with your father professionally? I think Sophie Aldred said you went to drama school together. Okay. So
right, there's a lot there to unpack.
Sophie's got it wrong. We didn't go to drama school together. I'm not sure who she's referring to. Dream roles, plays or productions on my bucket list. Oh, that's a big question. I'll answer it by saying I'm trying to write my own screenplay, which at some point I'd like to direct. I've done a little directing on short films that I've written. Yeah. This is a screenplay for a feature film.
Great.
So that's on my
labour of love. How long has that been so far?
34 years.
Has it really?
Yeah. I came up with the idea 34 years ago. I only started writing it a couple of years ago. It's taking a very long time.
Yes.
It's not where I feel most comfortable is writing.
Yeah.
Did I work with my father professionally? Yes, and only once. He was in an episode of Relic Hunter.
Yes, I read, yes.
In the first season, which was a delight for me because I'd appeared as an extra in Howard's Way. But we actually got to work together on set in Relic Hunter, and it was a very proud moment for me.
Nice.
This is from Steve Bushell. It looks like you inherited your dad's handsome gene.
Oh, yes, I thought I'd keep that one in for you.
Did you find it hard following in your dad's footsteps? Did he try to dissuade or encourage you? Thank you for the compliment. That's very kind. I don't know what to say about the handsome gene bit.
Take it, accept it.
Well, it's not a question, it's a statement, so I don't need to answer it.
There we go.
No, I didn't find it. I didn't find it hard following in his footsteps as an actor. I guess he paved the way for me to do it in the sense of, that's what you do.
Yeah, and you never felt in his shadow as such.
No, we were separate entities.
Yeah.
I never went into a casting room like, this is Tony Anholt's son.
Yeah.
It was like, this is Christien Anholt.
Yeah.
He didn't try to dissuade or encourage me. Once he knew I was very serious, he was very supportive. But he also made it very clear to me how challenging it might be, and he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but it must equally have been a pleasure for him to appear in Relic Hunter with you as much as it was for you. I mean, I can't imagine doing that with my son appearing in their show. It'd be amazing.
Great.
Excuse me, please, do not touch that. This is an original 1855 Massante.
1859?
No, 55.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. Massante didn't write any seafaring essays until after the death of his wife. But I'm sure he makes a mention of the date somewhere in the... my mistake. I'm sure it was 1855.
Relic Hunter. I mean, just from that brief clip, it looks an absolute hoot.
It was a hoot. It was a dream come true.
I mean, you seem very comfortable, very relaxed, very natural there. Is that your natural casting, or was it at the time? That sort of, the floppy hair, posh.
The casting brief was, we're looking for a young Hugh Grant.
A young Hugh Grant, yeah. But I mean,
nailed it.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just turn up in the room and you've got it. That's right. And do you look back on the early stages of your career with a certain sense of pride? Because there's a big, I know it's still ongoing, of course, but a big body of work.
Yeah, I mean, the earlier part of my career, there was... there's much to be proud of. I look back at it with an ever-changing sort of lens of gratitude and respect, and there's much I'd like to change. But
it's out there now.
I wouldn't do it that way now.
But it's there forever. That's the thing, isn't it? Unlike theatre, of course, which is fleeting.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's been so nice to talk to you this week. Will you come back and join us again next time?
Of course.
I'm so glad you said that. Christien Anholt, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
How lovely.
Yes.
I mean, I was going to say I'm a fan of nepotism there, but actually, it's not nepotism when it's Christian, is it, really?
No, it really isn't. No, he's forged his own career.
Exactly, but the lovely link.
All from Christian next week, of course, our very special guest for a couple of weeks. And then we have Sharon Mansfield, who was, I think, production coordinator or something on Space Precinct.
Little Sharon. And that's not me being rude. I mean, that's what she called herself. Yeah. She taught me to rollerblade.
Yeah, she did indeed.
And we're having a live reenactment.
Absolutely not. Yes. I don't want to break an ankle.
Talking of breaking ankles, some of our podsterons go through hell and high water and all sorts of dangerous situations in order to send us an email. Sometimes it can be quite hazardous, just typing podcast at Gerry Anderson
with their feet.
So should we make it worth their while? And,
well, it was a very tenuous segue, so we really should.
Let's just get on with it.
It's the worst of the year so far, wasn't it?
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Our wonderful, wonderful Podsterons. Where would we be without them?
Indeed.
Well, speaking into the void.
Exactly, yes. Wasting our time.
Well, which I quite enjoy, to be honest.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Chris, would you like to start the ball rolling?
I would love to start the ball rolling with, this is Dear Chris, Jamie, Richard, and everyone at Anderson Entertainment.
Oh.
I hope you all managed to cope with the harsh weather we've been having recently.
Yeah.
I've been okay.
Oh, good.
Who is it? What do you want to know now?
No, keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret.
Surprise us. Guess as we go along.
What a year it has been for me.
Oh.
That doesn't clear anything up.
No.
I've spent the weekend around Gerry Anderson Day in Slough, exploring the sites and film locations from Gerry's shows, and I did stay in the Moxie Hotel.
All right.
I know the buildings in Stirling Road don't exist anymore. I still wanted to see the spot where my childhood series was made. It was almost hard to believe that was where it all happened.
Yes, I have a feeling I might know who this is. Yes,
but the biggest highlight for me was undoubtedly Stand By for Action 2.
What a good highlight. It was a wonderful
weekend where I got to meet up with my friends again and say hi to you three as well. Hopefully, by the time you read this message, I have received my Blu-ray.
You will have done now.
Yeah.
Wow. That was lucky timing, wasn't it?
I hope I'll get to see everyone again in 2025, and I look forward to seeing what's in store for my favourite programme's 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Also, for 2025, I am making plans for my next cosplay. Even though Stingray's special year has passed, we're still in it.
Yeah, we keep going.
I do love to do Troy Tempest.
Oh.
For December 26th, I raise my glass to the late Gerry Anderson himself. Thank you, Mr. Anderson, for making my childhood a joy to treasure. Happy New Year and FAB from
Hannah. I knew it. Yes.
Nice. Hannah of the amazing Gordon Tracy cosplay.
Yeah, it was great.
It was lovely,
so
wasn't it?
good.
Yeah.
Now, Richard, you've got one.
I have now.
Yes.
Over Christmas, it's quite traditional to sing a little song or maybe some Christmas rhymes and so on. Well, we have one here. The name is included in the rhyme. So,
so we'll know who it's from.
Right. Yes, it is time for a little rhyme.
Yeah.
What can I say? Not a stingray, or even a little bet dressed in scarlet. No, not sad, but merry. Yes, I am that Terry.
Terry Adlam.
He's
Listen
back.
on.
Oh.
Not made of cardboard, down in Hereford.
Oh. Terry from Hereford.
Just a New Year poet. Bet you didn't know it. Haven't you
now.
heard? Can't call that Thunderbird, so be of good cheer, but stay off that beer.
Yeah, Chris, that's just for us.
Yeah,
We know what
yeah,
you're like.
Terry from Hereford, thank you very much.
Thanks,
for that.
Terry from Hereford.
Yeah, I think I might put that to music. Make it my ringtone.
I think you should.
Yes.
Right, there's my
For
challenge.
when Terry calls you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Thanks,
lovely.
Terry.
I've got the last one.
Yes, go on then.
I'm not going to keep you in suspense. This is from Alex Patrick.
Good.
From Facebook, it appears.
Oh, sure, yes,
Yeah.
indeed it is, yes.
Is it wrong that I find the new Captain Scarlet iteration of Captain Black mildly enjoyable?
Mildly enjoyable. No, it's not wrong.
I mean, he's not just a vessel for the Mysterons to get around, he's also rather characterful. He is, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
One of the things he does after being taken over by the Mysterons in Instrument of Destruction, Part 1, is to give a witty comeback to Mr. McGill when revealing he intends to murder him. I don't think it's that witty.
No.
Actually.
No.
It's about a shortcut. I'm cutting short your life.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
lovely
always,
silky voice, though.
but I always found that a bit cringy, that line, I have to say.
I'm cutting short your life.
In Mercury Falling, he's shown to be rather crafty. His dialogue is humorous and seems to have no remorse for killing Destiny, unless he was unaware that she was on board the Mercury ship. And in Skin Deep, he posits the idea of her being a Mysteron slave. Ooh. What's also effective is we don't see him on the show too often. It makes him more mysterious and terrifying, but at the same time, you feel concerned for him because Scarlet knows that Conrad is still in him. In Circles of Doom, hands down one of the best showcases of his entire character. He comes across as a classic villain from the way he monologues and plays with his interface, and the way the Mysterons pass their voice through him is a sight to behold. It very much implies he's not completely in control of himself. It's in this episode, I think Conrad wasn't meaning to kill Destiny during her raid.
I see.
Yes,
How interesting.
He's a much more complex character.
It's a fascinating character, yeah. And
Much better,
it's like,
I think.
if you told me before the new show came along, there's going to be another version of Captain Black that you're going to find just as interesting as the original. Because the original is a very haunting image,
Ghoulish.
especially in the ghoulish, that he's just going around killing people. And that image in the graveyard is stunning. And with the CGI one, amazingly, you've got a Black to rival the original in a completely different way.
Yes.
It's a standout character,
Best Anderson villain, would you say?
Ooh.
That's got to be close, hasn't it? If not the best.
Yeah, he's definitely an interesting one.
Absolutely.
Just more complex than the standard, they're the baddie, so therefore they're nothing but bad.
He is occasionally prone to, as you said, some cringy lines. I think that was my least favourite, but also sort of, I kind of respect it for cheesiness, was now to cure my scarlet fever. About to kill him.
It's very good. No, I like that. I like a bit of cheese.
You like a bit?
Yeah,
sometimes it's too much. But good analysis. Alex, thank you.
Very nice. Tell us, what do you think? What is your favourite Anderson villain? Let us know, podcast@gerryanderson.com. Amongst all the other things that we want you to let us know, what are you looking forward to?
Mine's Chris Dale.
Yeah. Anderson villain. He's too cuddly to be a villain.
I know.
Let us know what your hopes and dreams are for an Anderson 2025. What are you looking forward to most? A little earlier on, I asked the lovely Christien Anholt to press the randomiser button to see what we were going to watch this week. Shall we see what was chosen?
Please.
Ready, guys? It's time for the randomizer. 3, 2, 1.
Well, thank you, Christian. Let's see.
Through the black and white.
Yeah, through the black.
Right through the puppets.
What a shame.
no,
I was
Joe,
hoping
never
for a bit
mind.
of hang on. Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
Because his dad was in The Protectors
Yes.
and the second series of Space 1999, and we've fallen right between those two.
Yes. Okay.
The first series of Space 1999.
It's still related in a way. So
yes.
good.
Yes.
Good pressing.
Specs on? What?
Oh.
Oh dear, just me then.
I forgot my specs.
I love Space 1999. Sorry to make you jump.
Jimmy forgot you were here.
I did. I was so into the Eagles coming in overhead.
I mean, already I'm involved.
Classic alarm sound.
Stronger.
We have to get Nick Tate on the podcast.
Yes. I'm sure he'd do it.
Positive analysis, sir. Object approaching us artificially powered. The ship?
I'm straight in.
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Those static shots of the Eagles are never that satisfactory to me. I don't know why.
I admire the attempt for getting a pilot into the
crew in
cockpit
there.
there.
But I think it's because it's so still, which I suppose it would be.
Had to be.
Yeah.
It always looks a bit sort of hand-drawn.
Yeah.
Signal, Commander. Relay it to us, Alan.
Previous podcast guest, isn't it great to see them all on screen?
Yes.
Prentice Hancock there.
Acknowledge it.
So this is, I think, episode 12 in production order.
So very much
shown
up to
quite
speed.
early on in the run, yeah.
Voyager's Return.
Voyager's Return, indeed, yes.
Does this predate Star Trek the Motion Picture?
Do you know it does, yes, by 3 or 4 years, yeah.
Voyager 1. Our ship is unmanned.
Does it predate the launch of the actual Voyager? I should have looked that up.
Yeah, good point.
If it's just a coincidence.
I'll try and look it
Jamie?
up.
It's a Voyager ship. Carter, Abrams.
So what year was this? 70...
This is 74, this would have been made, I think.
Do you read me?
So Alan and a guy we've never seen before are flying to investigate.
Eagle 1 turning back.
Oh, dramatic
That's
roll.
nice.
Eagle 2 not responding.
I
no.
suspect he's going to die.
I had such high hopes for him
Yes.
as well.
Who are you, unknown Eagle pilot?
But I do like what they do with his death. They try to make it a bit more visually interesting than usual.
The ship.
Is it breaking up? Yeah.
Oh!
That's getting
Ouch.
sucked out as the cockpit window shatters.
Gosh. Not that it mattered, because the whole thing blew up and just vaporised him anyway. So.
Oh, we've lost that guy.
What was his name again?
Not that old. That was old thingy.
Voyager 1. Greetings from the people of the planet Earth.
Oh dear.
Wow.
We've done it again.
This predated the launch of Voyager 1.
Wow.
Wow.
The launch of Voyager 1 was in 1977, 5th of September.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know when they started making it, but
So it was obviously very much in the news then.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
an up-and-coming mission.
it began work in the early 1970s.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice, isn't it? Inspired by real-world events.
Absolutely.
As filtered through Space 1999's Space is depressing and miserable and we're going to break everything.
Of course. And they weren't wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I already see some interesting faces there. Jeremy Kemp,
Jeremy
I think,
Kemp, yes.
from Star Trek Generations, and I think he was also in...
Technically, he's a part of Generations.
He's
yes.
dead by that point, isn't he?
Yes. But speaking of people who are dead, that shot of the pilot being pulled forward, I think, if I'm reading it right, that's footage played backwards. The actor is sort of sitting
down.
back and they're throwing stuff at him. Yeah. But it's a really good effect.
It was very effective and dramatic.
Yes.
Nice death.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice
There's
death.
a lot of high quality deaths in this show.
Yeah.
Very,
Ooh,
very good.
floating eagle.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Brothers, that was the Star Trek episode, I think.
Yes, yes. And then he was in, was it some wartime thing as well? He's been in everything.
Yeah. He was certainly in Jeremy Brett's Sherlock Holmes at one point as well.
I hope it's their instruments.
Keep all communications open.
Nice. Of course, it wouldn't matter which way up it was, would it?
No. It still crashes
if you're going to be pedantic.
Thank you, space expert.
I am.
James.
Today, I'm a space expert.
Well, you donned that spacesuit. You took the controls, didn't you?
Yes,
You know
I
what
did
you're
indeed.
talking
in that very chair.
Yeah.
Alan, do you read me?
Do you read me?
Alpha, how am I doing? Your automatic systems are shut
You're
down.
awesome. You're
Yeah,
always
you're
awesome.
great.
Maintain manual control.
Shot to hell.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, his sideburn is bleeding.
Abrams, did he make it?
Dangerous sideburn injury.
Okay.
Yes. 70s.
Yes.
Worry.
What hit us? Aquila Drive.
Oh, what?
The Queller Drive.
Oh.
Voyager 1 is powered by the Aquila Drive.
Yeah, and is that true?
Used for going
No.
across space.
Queller's a fictional
Is
thing, I'm
it?
afraid to say, yeah.
But that's a bit odd, isn't it?
Speeds produced by
To include a sort of a factual representation of a thing that is going to happen, and yet fictionalise.
Well,
Yeah.
would make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was it's just powered by just
Coal.
standard
Yeah.
standard
A
propulsion.
standard rocket,
Yeah,
yeah.
steam.
You've got to have
Voyager-
some explanation. for how
Voyager
it got all
1
the way out
bumped
there.
into the Eagle.
Yeah.
Voyager 1. Launched 1985. Mission to probe the galaxy for signs
77.
Wrong.
Sorry.
to find habitable solar systems to make man's presence known in the galaxy.
Also, I don't think that was the mission, is it?
Yeah.
Voyager's coming back.
And in this chronology, I think that's 2 years before World War III.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
If it comes too close, we'll be burnt up.
Paul's extra cross today.
Isn't he?
We'll be polluted by neutron fallout, and we'll die anyway.
We've got to blast it out of the sky, Commander.
Of course, I understand. There's danger from the Quiller drive.
I always love it when Barry Morse has got something to get enthusiastic about and excited about. He's very good at
We'd
that.
still be burned up.
But you don't understand what scientific information there is in that ship.
Wait a minute. We have to think of our lives.
That ship has to be destroyed.
But not without John.
Carlo, what's the time factor?
Oh, I like that nice little moral dilemma being discussed by our leads.
Yeah.
That gives us some time.
Time? Time for what? We have no protection. We've got to stop it.
No, at least let's...
Eagle 1 coming in on approach course.
Here he comes. Careful now.
Yes.
Steady.
I didn't give Barbara Bain time to explain her thoughts. Just, Alan's coming back now. Shush.
Just in case. We're waiting for you, Alan. Good luck. Crash unit stand by.
Emergency crew to launch pad 4.
Lovely alarm again.
What are you suggesting?
Don't know why I enjoy that sound so much.
No, it's fun, isn't it?
Information Voyager has. We can't just blow it up out of hand.
I mean, Moonbase Alpha seems quite quiet, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
being up there, nice and quiet.
I mean, there aren't many people around.
No.
Only the people that we need to be around.
Yeah. Or the odd person who needs to die.
Yes.
But it is also a very big place.
Yes,
true.
And there's only 311 or less now.
Yeah.
Far less now.
I understand that. Look, I'd love to get my hands on that information. It could be invaluable in relation to our survival. But we can't just...
Okay, this is the same conversation still.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Victor.
I also don't understand Victor's sort of dangled a carrot to Helena there saying, oh, think of all the medical information it must have. I don't know if a space probe can really gather that much medical information.
Sure.
It certainly have a lot of information, but
Yes.
The Quell drive made star travel possible.
that's why we never mentioned it before or since.
So how does it switch from rocket power to Quell drive and back again?
It's computer controlled.
Exactly. Now, why can't we reprogram the computer aboard the Voyager? Why can't we feed it new
That
instructions?
is why he's the commander.
Yes.
Right.
So he's solved the end of Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
Commander, Eagle 1 is down.
Carter?
Still in one piece.
And down as in flat down in a crater.
Yeah, shame we didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
Helena?
Well, it gave Prentice Hancock another morning's work.
Yeah.
At the risk of all our lives.
You see, but this is what Space 1999 does very well, and actually it's what a lot of people don't enjoy about it. It's this, the dilemma
Yes.
Yeah.
being discussed.
The philosophical.
Yes.
Helena? We're not in any danger yet.
Not yet.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's what I said, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit weird.
Nice. Oh.
It does look like it's coal powered in that shot.
It's a bit of a filthy exhaust.
Yeah.
The problem is to get access to the Voyager command circuit, and we can get the computer
Whilst avoiding the filthy exhaust.
We need a link up through our computer programmer to Voyager 1. See what you can do, would you?
Yes, Professor.
There he is.
Ah, new person.
New person.
He was there all along. He's just been busy.
Yeah.
So yes, that's Jeremy Kemp.
Is he designing his new bathroom or something on there? And I'm going to have a walk-in shower here, underfloor heating here.
And I know they're frowned upon now, but a B-day, actually.
Yeah, I do sometimes wonder what everybody does on Alpha all day, because there's got to be people who are up there whose jobs were completely redundant after they left and got to find something else to do.
Nuclear waste coordinator. Well,
Yes.
they've been demoted to clean the toilets now, should they, after the accident.
The B-days.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was.
And that other actor is Barry Stokes,
Ah.
who had been in a couple of episodes of UFO on Skydiver.
You know what they're trying to do?
I'm quite jealous of Barry Stokes' hair, actually.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot there.
They can't do that.
What? Why not?
Of all of the Anderson shows, do you think Space 1999 is the one with the most considered pauses. And as a percentage of each episode, I wonder what the length of considered pauses are.
Pauses, meaningful looks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's no dialogue, and it's just
Pondering.
about the pondering.
And no music.
And no music, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the voice of Earth Space Control.
And yeah, as you say, it's one of, again, that's something else that I like about it. It takes its time.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy being in this world with these people.
Stand by for fresh instructions.
Yeah. Oh, no, I wasn't being down on the pauses. I enjoy the pauses, but
yeah,
it seems like a hallmark of space.
Yeah.
I don't even remember at the end of the Morecambe and Wise show when Eric Morecambe used to walk through the back of the set wearing a overcoat because he thought the show was over.
Yes.
Well, that's what Jeremy Kemp's doing there.
I also wonder about that because when you see up on that level, there is no door. It is just the balcony. So I think they're implying that he came through from up there, but there's no way he could have done.
Right.
So.
There's a way, Professor. Commander. Professor, one moment.
Beautifully lit.
Please, I will try to explain to you very simply. First, you must understand that the command controls will respond only to the most precise signal. Therefore, I have to warn you that any random attempt to stop the Voyager by other means could trigger off its own destruct mechanism.
Oh?
That'd be all right, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well.
Why would it have a destruct mechanism?
I have
Because it's Anderson.
Everything has.
With the Voyager project.
Even Commander Koenig has his own self-destruct mechanism.
Check my personal index. You will find that long before I came to Alpha, my name...
Yes?
My name was Queller.
Oh, this is good. He's great.
How convenient.
Queller of all the disasters and catastrophes associated with the Voyager project.
I have designed the Queller drive.
Oh, dear.
Oh, well, that was lucky.
Yeah,
Then to
this
have
is
him on board.
really good, though. And that was a really nice little performance.
Yeah.
Very contained and...
And it's also rare to have an Alphan who's a sort of contemporary in age to Victor.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Ernst Queller?
He was Queller, but his name was changed to Lyndon by Earth Command before he was assigned to Alpha.
And no one.
Well, yes, I mean, I would.
If he chose not to reveal who he was, it's his business. I feel every man is entitled to that much privacy.
He may have changed his name.
Is he?
But nothing can change what he did. His Queller drive killed Steve Abrams.
Yeah.
Remember? That's one more for the score. But I'm thinking of 15 years ago. The second ship on the program, Voyager 2. The Queller drive cut in too soon.
Paul, something went wrong.
I see.
200 people were killed because something went wrong.
Wow.
The whole community wiped out. My father was one of them.
Oh,
no.
Yes. I see.
Yeah.
Now it's personal.
I understand why this is difficult for you. But we're not here to pass moral judgment on Ernst Queller. We're here to decide whether a man named Ernst Linden...
I think if a man is a murderer, he deserves that privacy.
Yeah.
Particularly when he's got a new name.
Yes, for us not to know.
He's worked for us well up here.
Yeah.
It's not a murderer anyway. It's corporate manslaughter at worst.
fair enough.
Queller drive in time.
Everyone's entitled to one colossal village-destroying accident.
Exactly.
Yeah. And wonderful lighting on this.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Lyndon.
8 seconds of pause.
It's great,
lovely.
though, it's great.
No, it was.
Yeah.
I'm not being down on it. I love the fact
a
that
massive supercut of just pauses and looks.
that is
and-
exactly what I think we should do.
Dr. Linden, we need the information the Voyager contains. I want to know if you can shut down the Queller drive so we can get that information.
Now, don't be hasty. Think carefully.
I want to know if you can do it with
He's
the
also,
facilities we have.
I don't remember ever seeing anyone on Alpha wearing this sort of lab coat kind of thing. He looks a bit sort of scruffy and a bit casual, even though he's got the uniform underneath.
Yeah.
And I gather that's kind of the look that Barry Morse wanted to have as Victor. He didn't want to be in the uniform so much.
Yeah.
Theoretically, certainly it is possible. Yes.
Okay.
Or no? Commander Koenig, 20 years ago, I would have given you my guarantee, but
Yeah.
now,
Then I killed some
today,
people.
if you asked me to undertake such a task, all I can say is that I will do everything I can. I will do my best.
I mean, that's a good accent too, isn't it? It's very convincing.
He's very good. Performance. It's
really,
lovely.
yeah.
Really nice.
I do sometimes wonder all those papers in the top pocket if somehow they're script pages.
Well,
It'll be helpful.
there's some big ones in there, aren't there? So it could well be, yeah.
More looks, more thinking.
Yeah.
Big decision.
Yeah. Is anyone going to talk, or is this just going to... No.
14 seconds that time, I think. Amazing.
Not even to Jim Haynes. He lost both his parents because of Queller.
Oh, Jim Haynes lost both his parents.
Kind of Jim Haynes. Who's Jim?
Yeah, you know,
300
Mr. and
people.
Mrs.
I don't know
Haynes.
everybody. Yeah.
Doctor, this has gone beyond me. I simply cannot understand what you're doing.
Oh, never mind, Jim. You are a very good assistant.
He's got a pipe. He's got a pipe.
Oh, so he does. Yeah. Pipes on Alpha.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
They're growing tobacco in the hydroponics area.
Actors have to be taken on trust.
Okay.
You must do exactly as I tell you.
Right, I don't trust him now.
Oh.
I need your help.
Okay.
Well,
There's something else going on
Knew
here.
he'd hidden his identity.
Yes.
So,
Oh, Doctor? I'm afraid this
You see, it's the same thing with Space Precinct, isn't it? The one thing Gerry never foresaw was the fact that by the time these series were set, paper in an office environment would be absolutely redundant.
Yeah.
This failure of the drive to cut out in time is...
And yet, it's kind of nice to see
Yeah.
it all on the
Yeah.
drawing board there
Yeah.
as well.
with the most horrendous results.
Yes.
I do love the way this is shot.
Shot,
from
yeah.
a completely different room.
Like
Yeah,
we're eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Possibilities in my mind thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Don't listen to this bit, Jim. We're talking about how I killed a lot of
I'm
people.
confident that I know the reason for the failure.
Okay.
Therefore, I must gamble and work from the premise that I am right.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't like the use of the word gamble.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Well,
Don't mind me
best
saying.
of luck. I'm going to take an eagle and
Yeah.
I'll monitor things from up there. I think with this shot, yeah, you could just about see some water pooling at the bottom of the model, and I think in a later shot you can see it dripping off.
Okay.
What's your plan if we can't stop it? It's a three-phase operation, sir.
No, Alan's got a three-stage plan.
Of course he has.
Yeah.
The Eagles go into automatic alert.
Okay.
Now, if it enters the yellow area, we move into positions here.
it's more of an orange, but
The moment it enters the red,
True.
we let loose with everything we've got.
Okay.
Good.
Good work.
That's something else I'd like to do a super cut off. Every time Koenig gives either Alan or
Oh, yeah?
Victor usually that hearty slap.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of that.
Haynes, if you'll excuse us, I'd like a word with the doctor.
Flashing things.
Yeah, we need to talk about how many light bulbs he stole from this machine.
I should be ready by now.
Okay. I'm going to go get my hair cut. Yeah.
How much longer?
I believe not long. Once the circuit pattern here is complete, we can override the command instructions. After that, it will be relatively simple.
You have to imagine if this were done today or even 10 years ago, they would have been able to sort of seed this character throughout previous episodes.
Yes.
It would be interesting to see him
Yeah.
in other
Appear
stories
and
before this.
being subtly crafty.
Yeah, yeah. But you can say that with a lot of the guest characters in
Yeah.
this show.
Doctor, I hope you're not trying to prove something.
Because it's a fascinating story behind this character, and it's all limited to this one episode.
Yeah, that's right.
Eagle 6, 9, and 10, launch positions.
Yeah, Alan's had one taste of the Queller drive. He's not going up with this fly.
Having a rest now.
Yeah.
Eagle 6, ready for launch.
Right. I think we know what's going to happen to you.
Eagle 10 in position.
Eagle 9, ready.
All Eagles now ready for launch. Eagle 6, 9, and 10, condition yellow, now operative. Go.
Right. This is the first part of his three-part plan.
Yep.
We're watching you. Good luck.
Rather you than me.
Yeah, we can't help you, but we're watching you.
When your ears start bleeding, just keep your head down.
You receive a sideburn injury. Yeah.
This is Secret Service music.
Is it?
1 hour to interception.
1 hour? Time to do some long pauses and pencil looks.
Yeah. So Eagle 6, 9, and 10. Intercept positions.
Is it a shame that the landing gear doesn't retract? I know it doesn't need to because it's not atmospheric travel, is it? So there won't be any drag. But it would be nice if they kind of up into the...
It does look like it, doesn't it?
There are some images on some like old annuals and such where they are retracted.
Right.
It looks quite good like that.
I think we've done it.
So artfully shot, isn't it?
Yeah, some really interesting choices out there.
Switch on, please, Jim.
It makes a cool sound.
Except we can't hear it because it'll be added in post. I mean, do you think there was such a thing as a tone meeting before this series? I'm thinking back again to Space Precinct. We never really discussed the tone. It sort of developed as it went along. But you do get the feeling that every actor that appeared in this was sat down, particularly in the first series, and told, we're playing this absolutely for
Deathly
real.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Uh-oh.
How did we complete the circuit pattern?
Oh, you don't understand, Jim. Together we have recreated the control pattern for the Queller drive.
Shut up!
And now I'm going to have to kill you.
Not possible.
What's he doing?
There's only one man who could have done that. Only one man has the knowledge.
Acting time.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah, it is. Just a minute. You're him.
It's Queller.
Nice.
Aren't you? Well, come on, tell me! You killed my parents, didn't you?
Oh no! Now coming up here in the very left side of frame, there was a human hand. I don't know if it's this shot or the next shot. There, human hand.
Oh yes! Wow!
just touching the table there. I think it's something to do with stopping the sparks off the prop.
Yeah.
But end of part one. Richard.
Yes.
End of part one. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
It's good
I mean,
stuff,
we're not going to give our marks out of 5 yet until we see part 2 next week.
I suspect you're going to rate this one quite highly.
I mean, I love Space 1999 for all the reasons we've discussed previously, but this is particularly good. And I think Jeremy Kemp's excellent.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about, the stillness and the pausing and that lovely 14-second pause they also have. But I like that. And also, it really plays to Martin Landau's strengths, I think, as an actor. He does seem to command the looks and the pauses and the thoughtfulness. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I know this is a favourite of a lot of people, including our own dear Ross sat over here.
Yes, he looks like he's enjoying himself.
He's so engaged.
Isn't
I've
he?
never seen Ross as enthusiastic about Randomiser, I have to say.
Look forward to part 2 next week.
Can you wait a whole week?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Podsterons, let us know what you think of the first part of Voyager's Return, Space 1999. Podcast at gerryanderson.com is the email address where you'll find us.
I very much enjoyed it.
I have to say, I wonder when we'll get our first physical piece of mail through the post.
Over this year?
Yeah.
Not ever?
No, not ever, because we had a few.
We had lots of Christmas cards.
Yes.
And we have mentioned there are some birthdays coming up this year. So,
Oh, yes.
Maybe, we can but hope.
But save on the postage, you can get an 80th birthday card, and Chris and I can share it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. Now, next week, join us again for the second part of my interview with Christien Anholt. We'll have part 2 of Voyager's Return.
Yes.
And some more, I dare say, Gerry Anderson news.
Yeah, and the Podsterons will be saying stuff too. So
Of course
it's
they
all exciting.
Yeah, we'll see you then. Bye.
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 1. Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
How did they do it? You see, how did they do it? There are lots of outtakes.
There must have
It's
been.
got to be the music, the dramatic music that sells it. Yeah, we
So
can't
many
do it.
bloopers
Yeah.
in there.
We tried our best.
And then another time.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.